Traffic is so backed up today. I'm usually not stuck this early, so at least it's it's moving a little. But later on I'm gonna be shooting at a concert, so I'll show you the process of that. I'm gonna be up until 2 a.m. trying to get the edits in and then send that over, but otherwise it'll be fun to go to. What am I feeling today? I don't know. I feel like I'm floating by these days. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. I just feel kind of neutral. I really feel like winter's coming on. I really want to go snowboarding because I haven't gone in years, but I have my gear and it's just sitting there, and I've been wanting to go every year, but timing hasn't worked out. None of my friends have really wanted to go, so I'm hoping someone will want to go this year. We will see. I really vibe with winter sports. Like skating has been so fun. Although, skating update, it's been so hard these past 2 weeks. Last weekend was the hardest session to date. We're doing more jumps, and for some reason I cannot wrap my mind around the steps and piece things together. And I remember when I was a kid, the coaches would draw it out on the ice, and I think I need that because my brain works very visually. Sometimes the coach is like, okay, so you're gonna do this and this, and then you put it all together and that's the thing. And then I'm like, okay, but can you show us? Probably so easy for her, but not for me. So that's another thing that we're working on. I really wish that I could sneak into practice, but yeah, I don't think that's realistic. Usually Mondays and Fridays are like a little bit flexible for me in terms of like, I work with the girls. There's usually Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday where we're just like shooting nonstop. And then Mondays and Fridays we'll do computer work, but I have meetings on Friday and then I have to be in downtown. Maybe next week because I'm struggling and I don't really want to get behind on my goals. Really see progress before the end of the year. So working towards my next goals and seeing where I get to by January. But it's so exciting. Like, I'm so happy that I'm doing this for myself. It's just sometimes it can be like my schedule can be a lot, so yeah, I'll check back in later. I'm just talking about whatever now. Nothing special is happening. Talk to y'all soon. Gosh, I look very pale right now. I hope I'm not sick. Another work day with the team is finished. It's actually really early. It's 3:20. I don't know if we just feel a little bit exhausted right now, but it's tricky sometimes. You don't think that your energy is burning, but just standing there and trying to troubleshoot all day is kind of draining. So that's done with. I'm gonna go home. By the time I get home, it's probably around 4-ish. And then I have time to eat, catch up on a few things. Honestly, I think I kind of just want to sit there for a while. And then I've decided I'm just gonna drive to the venue because usually I drive halfway and then transit. But I think today, since I want to get home ASAP, I might just drive. Artist that I'm shooting is named, I think he's a rapper, and it's gonna be super packed, so I have to get there basically when the doors open, and so I'll have like about 2 hours to kind of just chill until he goes on. He gets on at 9, and so I actually went to go get Burger King, so I'm gonna have that real quick. Fun fact, I actually really like fast food quite a bit. I'm happy with it. I know it's not good for me, but I do like it, so I'm treating myself today. I'll check back in when I'm driving to the venue. Okay, I'm back. It looks like it's so late. Kind of is. It's 6:40. We're off to the venue, which is 27 minutes away. I'm really familiar with this venue, so I'm not too worried. If it was a new venue, I would have left. I mean, I would have wanted to go as soon as the doors open, just to kind of get the sense of where I can shoot and kind of where I'm able to go. But this one, I actually haven't shot in since summer, but the people are always so nice, so I'm not too worried. I'm shooting for the promoter today, and I feel like basically their assignment for me is to make sure I get a lot of shots with the crowd in there. So that's my job for today, is getting a lot of crowd shots. I think it'll be fun for the most part, so I'll take you along. Once I get there, they usually give me a media pass or like a wristband, and then I'm able to kind of go wherever I need to go, so that's nice. Shooting concerts is pretty straightforward unless I'm like looking directly for the artist. If that's the case, sometimes I have to be there at sound check or stay behind, kind of like last week. Actually, last week was such a weird case. But yeah, this one's pretty straightforward. Once the show ends, I come home, I call through the photos, which means just going through what's the best of the best. And then I sent a big gallery to the promoter so that they have the photos by morning to kind of use. And that's what they use to post tomorrow, saying like, this person came and it was a sold out show. And then they use the photo for promo. That's about it. Back in with y'all later at the venue.
Let's go!
That concert was filled with teenage boys, and I definitely need to take a shower after I get home. It was a lot shorter than I expected. Usually shows run for an hour and a half. Usually end at like 10:30, but he finished like 9:45. It was very rowdy. You'll see the footage. Yeah, that's basically what my work evening is like. So I have actually a routine that maybe I can talk about. If you're a concert photographer, basically what I do is I make sure I get a spot right at the beginning, right by the stage, so then I get those shots out of the way. And honestly, those shots are probably like one of the strongest because their adrenaline is going, and also like the crowd is just their burst of energy. Once that's out of the way, if the artist allows photographers and stuff to go side stage or behind them, then those are the shots that I get next, because if I don't make it back there at the beginning, there's no way I can come back. It just gets too full and it's too hectic. And so just before the show, I went to the security guard and I was like, oh hey, you kind of just ask them, and I like to introduce myself to them just so that they can see my face and know that I'm there to actually work and I'm not some fan trying to get on the stage. And so once that happens, come down after a song or two sometimes, and then make my way kind of towards the back. And then once I get some shots in the back, if there's a balcony, and depending on where, then I make sure I go up there to take my really wide shots. I think that's about it. And then at the end, like if there's extra time, then I just make a few more rounds. If there is an encore, like I tend to leave just before it so that I'm not in the middle of the rush. But he didn't have that, and so I was like kind of trapped between all these people, but it was fine. And thank God I drove, because really no one else was driving. They were all just so young. Kind of show you the pass that I also got. It's just this, and they give this to you and you kind of stick it onto wherever you can. It's either this or a wristband, or sometimes it's as relaxed as a stamp. Like, I wanted to talk about some of the struggles of doing this type of work as a female. I remember not being taken seriously at the beginning. One show in particular where no one was taking me seriously and they wouldn't let me, where they were letting all the other photographers that were guys. I was so worried that it was going to be like that moving forward, and it was very icky, and I'd never really felt discriminated against for being a girl up until that show, and thankfully it hasn't really happened ever since. But like, there are definitely moments where security or people at the front there look at you, and also I think it's because I also look kind of young. They don't take me seriously, and it's so frustrating. But honestly, my advice to anyone is act really confident and just pretend like you know what you're doing. Also, another tip is, if there are other photographers there, where I'm from, usually they're really nice, and just introduce yourself to them and kind of like have a buddy, and that usually helps too. I remember, that first show, like, if I didn't introduce myself to some of the other guys taking pictures, I think it would have made my job harder, which is really sad. Photographers understand each other, so just introduce yourself. I used to be so intimidated. Just don't be. Everyone is so nice. If you are a girl and you want to do this, please do. Don't let people intimidate you or question whether you should actually be there. You have a pass. So have fun with it. Meet people, introduce yourselves. The amount of people that I've met through doing this is wild, and I feel like oh my gosh, a coyote. Oh, a little one. There have been so many coyotes. Oh my gosh, and we're in the middle of the city. I hope he's okay. People need to drive a little slower. Anyways, where was I getting at? Enjoy the fun of concert photography. I'm so glad I started when I started, because I feel like I can't do this forever. It takes a certain amount of energy. So doing this in my 20s, maybe through my early 30s, will be fun. Back when I was in university, I was taking arts and entertainment management, and I had initially thought that I wanted to do something in music. I don't know why, but then I thought, oh my gosh, I would love to work with artists, do their photos or whatever. That had always kind of been in the back of my mind. And then back in 2018, I think I shot my first concert, and this singer was like a pop singer from Sweden, and shooting that show was at a little bar venue. And I was so intimidated, and back then I was very, very shy. At the start of me doing photography, I also barely knew how to shoot in low light, and that was I remember being so nervous, and I remember like Googling this before and then trying to figure out all of that. And then I remember taking pictures, and I was so nervous because I was like, oh my gosh, these are so dark. These are coming out so dark in my camera. And then I went home and I edited them, and the whole look of it changed, and that change, it was just such a good feeling to see the photos actually come to life. And I realized that like a lot of the concert photos that you see really come to life when they're edited. And so after that, I honestly actually didn't take photos for years. I don't know why. Like, I guess I focused on portraits, and I thought maybe I should get better at that before I do anything else. And then so I paused for a while, and then 2021 was actually Junie's show, which is so full circle because I just shot him again last week. I wanted to shoot again, and I had so much fun. And then from there, I was connected with his team and like shot their shows, and then the promoter of those shows ended up finding my work through them. It's kind of how I got my foot in the door. Like, just kind of have to shoot anything and make sure you just get the job done, deliver as soon as you can so that they're actually able to use it. And as long as you're on time, communicative, you'll end up getting these gigs. And I also think that about any type of photography job. It's like, do your job well, make connections, have fun with it, and things will eventually start rolling in. Honestly, I did this just for fun, to keep myself busy with something else. With these concert photos, because there's such a fast turnaround, it just felt like bursts of me being able to create something really quickly and then being able to let go of them really quickly. In terms of my other work in fashion or beauty or product, those tend to take weeks to kind of finish. And so just having little bursts like this, I think just like kept me going. They're just fun, they're quick. I love seeing the results. That's probably the most fulfilling thing, and that's why I do this. I feel like you should always growing and learning in different ways, and if it means stepping out of your comfort zone and trying something completely different, I think you should go for it, because you never know what you end up liking. Somehow very inspiring too to see these artists or like meet them sometimes. That's it for my concert photography spiel. I'm taking a long drive home just so that I can decompress my brain a little. So I'll be back around 10:30. This is what the photo pass looks like with the name of the artist and the date, and you just put it on.